lucky guy. So in love I might make you puke. She's the apple of his eye. Sit right down, we're gonna give you the scoop with Ryan Pfeiffer and Lisa Doop. Stamma-lamma ding-dong loop-de-loop. This is the story of a guy named Mr. Boop.
Anyway, you're listening to Being Mr. Boop. Betty Boop out of context. My name is Lisa Doop, and I am Mr. Boop.
My name is Ryan Pfeiffer, and I'm Mr. Boop.
Ryan, it's Thursday, March 19th, 2020, and today we're reading the 31st ever Mr. Boop strip. What happens in today's Mr. Boop?
Today's Mr. Boop? What a nice workplace. I'm sure they let their employees urinate. This is, of course, referring to this podcast, Being Mr. Boop. Yeah, actually, it's referring to the Pitch Drop Podcast Network. I'm sure they let their employees use the bathroom, and they don't make them finish the recording session before they have to do that.
Problem is, Pitch Drop Studios are so far away from us, so we can't even use the bathroom even if we wanted to. We'd have to.
No, I thought you were going to say the Pitch Drop Studios are so far from any restrooms whatsoever. You have to walk a mile to an outhouse to go into use the bathroom.
So it's like Portal or something.
Portal?
Like it's how it's just how like at the end of that game it's just a outhouse in the middle of nowhere or whatever. I think I was very young when I played that.
I can't remember the endings other than I remember the boss fights. I don't remember the past that. Actually, I don't know if I've beaten Portal 2. But I know how it ends. I know the whole story. I just don't know if I've ever beaten it personally. I have beat Portal. Love those games.
So panel 1.
In this strip, we see Bugs Bunny working at Aperture. Oh, sorry.
He's wearing a shirt. This is Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon, not Aperture.
He's There's a conveyor belt.
I actually have a shirt that says Aperture on it.
Nice. Good for you.
Wow, what an epic gamer.
Oh, wow.
This party's so lame. Let's find the geeks and gamers in the crowd.
The cake a lie? Yeah.
The cake is... this cake is so great. It's so delicious and moist. Do you not know what I'm referencing?
I know what you're referencing. I'm just not going to humor it.
Wait, but do you think but this is actually, do you think I'm referencing...
No, I've read the comic.
Okay.
I've read the comic.
I was making sure if you thought I was referencing Portal or like the thing that is referencing Portal.
Yeah, no. So basically, we've got Bugs in his it looks malicious, but this is just his natural face. And he's talking to the
I don't know
audience.
what's making you say that, but alright.
I don't know, it just looks creepy. He says, I work at Amazon now. They don't let me pee when I need to, and I'm still in love with Betty Boop.
He's standing in front of a conveyor belt, and there's a box that says Amazon. You said the conveyor belt?
I already described the conveyor belt and everything, yeah.
Why did I not hear? You just rushed through it. I don't know how I don't hear these things. I only heard you say the t-shirt. I feel like maybe you hear it in your head and then you don't. I'm just kidding.
No, I said it. I definitely said it. Check the thing.
Roll it back. I forgot to say. Oh, I almost forgot to say a shadow synopsis, which I've been forgetting to say. The shadow synopsis today is, what's up, Boop? It's funny. He actually does say, in the shadow synopsis. Alec does when he posts this, even though he doesn't write Bugs to say that. The shadow synopsis yesterday was we've hit 30 Boop comics, and the shadow synopsis the day before that was Boop of the Morning to ya. It might have been St. Patrick's Day when he said that.
This strip is really showing Alex, and pro worker.
It was
mindset.
It was St. Patrick's Day,
which I'm a fan of.
Speaking of not being allowed to pee. Never mind.
Right. So anyway.
I need to use the bathroom.
Anyway. I know. So anyway, this is...
I didn't want to just leave that hanging there.
Anyway, panel two is the same
I thought
shot,
it would be thematically appropriate.
Yeah, well... That's why you chug that whole bottle of water during the break.
I have a glass of
So
water
anyway-
and a bottle of coffee. You just conflated the two things.
Well, I didn't know you had either of those. So
Drinks roundup. Let's go.
So anyway.
Drinks. What do you got? What do you have?
I don't know if you guys know this, but today there is a heat wave in England. So I have a flask full of just cold water.
A flask of
Drenching
water?
myself in. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No. Why would you put it in a flask? Isn't that harder to
It
clean?
was the only thing that was big enough to quench my thirst. Only
Big
container.
enough? How? All right. Send me a picture of this
Not like a
flask, and I'll
flask.
put it in show notes.
No, it's not like a flask. It's like a. I don't know how to describe it.
Show listeners.
It's
Show us your
like a
flasks.
soup flask.
Send in your flasks
Like a,
to.
like what you put.
Send us pictures of your flasks. Do not Google image search. In fact, I guess we're gonna have to make this a challenge now, just to make sure it's legitimate.
Yeah.
Send pictures of your
With
of yourself holding up your flasks to Flask Challenge 9821 to see. I have to change it to make it. It's not a ripoff. Send pictures of your flasks to Flask Challenge 9821 at beingmrboop.com. That is not a flask, Lisa. That's just a water
How
bottle.
do you describe what this is? This isn't a water bottle.
It is a water bottle. It's just a metallic one. It's like it's not the traditional metal water bottle. It's like kind of futuristic looking. What is that behind the half-eaten chocolate bunny? What is that?
That's. What do you mean? My Funko Pop of sour.
Oh,
Nuts?
yeah. Okay. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Where'd you get the boots? The pencil holder boots.
I have no idea. They've been in my life since I was a baby.
Sentimental.
Anyway.
Yeah, send pictures of yourself holding your flask and holding a picture
Today's
of not a picture. Send us a picture of yourself holding your flask in one hand and in the other hand holding the oldest magazine you can find in your house.
Can't be
For
today's
reference.
newspaper.
Yeah, no. See, they don't even make newspapers anymore. Yeah, the oldest magazine you can find in your house. If you can't find a magazine, you are disqualified from the challenge. So yeah, send us those. Lisa's quote unquote flask picture will be in the show notes, which you can only find on beingmrboop.com. Go to beingmrboop.com. Check out all you have to see there. Whatever.
Anyway, panel 2. It's the same shot basically, but
All 4 panels are the
the
same shot.
yeah, the box has just been moved a little, and he's still talking to the audience, but his hand is lowered, and he says, "It's not."
I'm sorry, I forgot to say my drinks. I almost forgot. We can't finish the drinks roundup until I say my drinks.
Also, his teeth are more fucked up.
I have huh?
Look at his teeth. Look at the difference between
His teeth are very long in panel 2. I have a 64-ounce bottle of Diet Snapple half and half lemonade iced tea. It doesn't have half and half in it. It's half lemonade and half iced tea. Both diet. Or maybe just the lemonade. I mean, maybe just the iced tea's diet. I bought it for the bottle. I don't like diet. I've said this before. I said this on Being Joe's. I don't drink diet drinks, but I bought it for the bottle.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, there's so much liquid in it that when I had it in the fridge and then took it out, it had so much condensation on it that it kind of ruined the wrapper or whatever you would call this, the label. It ruined the label. So, which is the same thing that happened to the diet lemon tea I bought. So, yeah, in both cases the bottle was kind of ruined, and I have to get another one and drink another 64-ounce bottle of something I do not want. Or I could just dump it, but that's a waste of money. I also have a glass of water that's pretty much finished. I need to refill that. And a 13.7, that's a weird amount, ounce bottle of French vanilla Dunkin' iced coffee. It's not iced coffee. I don't know why. Do they expect you to put it in a cup of ice? It's just a bottle of coffee. In fact, it's not real coffee. It's right. They didn't used to say it used to say bottled coffee beverage. Coffee and milk beverage. That's what it says. In fine print now.
Well, panel 3.
Did you say what he said?
Bugs,
You didn't say what he
Bugs
said. Yeah.
says it's not so bad. I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment that I share with Peter Griffin, and we have a unit washer / dryer.
An in-unit
I think he
washer.
said slash.
An in-unit washer dryer. There is a slash, but you just say it washer dryer.
You just why did he put the slash?
Because that's how you would write it. But you just say an in-unit washer dryer. That's what you would say.
Okay. Well,
Trust me, my mom's a
maybe
landlord.
that's what you would say. Oh, okay.
I could tell that was like, yeah, cringe. Yeah, fair enough.
So panel 3 is the same as panel 2, except without the Bob speech bubble. He's just thinking about his horrible life.
He's not talking at all. He's just standing there. The box has moved a little bit. That's the only real change. Other than that, it's the same shot as panel 1 and 2.
There was a video that NerdSync, Scott Nicewonder, did, where he briefly talked about how
NerdSync?
Power that, yeah, he's a YouTuber who makes videos on, comics and stuff, but they're very well edited.
Scott McCloud.
Scott McCloud. Well, anyway, he talked about how much power the silent panel can have because it's got no time length ascribed to it. Because on a panel with text, you're like, it lasts as long as the text does. But with a silent panel, you're like, this could be a moment, or this could be, hours.
I mean, a moment is
or not hours.
Not a specific amount of time.
Well, I mean, it could be however, it's a moment, but you don't know how long.
It's a moment no matter what.
Yeah, and I think it adds a lot of power to this one because you're like, yeah, he's just sitting to think, and it's really up to your own comedic time and to decide how long that is.
I'll tell you what, we do know that however much time has passed between these
panels,
panels,
for the box to go through.
It is an interval of time where the treads on the conveyor belt would have moved to a point where they are in the exact same position they were in the previous panel. So it's not a random amount of time. It's not. It's a time. There is a factor. We just don't know what the factor is because we don't know the speed of the conveyor belt.
Exactly.
But
it's all up to you.
But this could if you put in factors like the speed, you can kind of and assuming this is the same box.
But that isn't. It's up to you.
Well, if if it's assuming the same box, it doesn't matter what the position of the treads are. What I'm saying is the treads look exactly the same in every panel. There's never like a little bit less of a tread because it's moved a little bit underneath the grating or whatever of the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
As conveyor belts go, where it would be like you only see a sliver of one section of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The section that's going under, you would only see a sliver of it. You see the exact same amount of that part every time, which means it's moving that factor of time between each panel to the point where it would be at that exact section every time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the type of detail you're not going to get in Being Jim Davis.
No.
They are
panel 4.
Two not washed up.
What's the
Hang on, I feel like I gotta say the right word here so that I don't. They're too cynical. I don't know. I can't think of the word. I don't know.
I think jaded is what you're after.
Huh? Jaded. Jaded is the word. Maybe. Yeah.
I said jaded.
Did you? Is jaded the word? I don't know. Whatever. They're too jaded after all this time of reviewing Garfield. They can't get into that amount of detail anymore. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
You have to come to being Mr. Boop
I'm already that
to hear that amount of detail again. Did they ever go into that amount of detail? To like...
I don't know.
The sun has passed this much amount of time. Whatever. There's no sun in this comic.
Anyway. No.
It takes place in a reality where the sun is burned up and yet the atmosphere still remains somehow.
I love that.
Thanks to the...
that's my next project. That's my big idea I have. I want to do something that's just like inexplicable.
That is fun.
Like, I like.
Clearly, this takes place in some weird multiversal reality where all these characters from all these different fictional realities are able to come together in sort of a cartoon all-stars to the rescue type.
You're thinking of Space Jam 2: A New Legacy.
No, please. I haven't seen that yet. God, I wish I could go into that movie blind. There's so many bizarre things I've seen that I just wish I could see in the context of the movie instead of just looking at Twitter and being like, look at this weird scene in Space Jam 2. Whoa, I can't believe whoever from this cartoon. I'm not even going to say because I don't want to ruin it.
Well, that's the thing. That's what the movie is. It's just these scenes and
yes, but
there's no
imagine like going into the theater not knowing what the movie is and seeing that. It would just be so incredible. The thing is, the thing is,
incredible is the right word.
You grow up with Space Jam, you can't like appreciate how insane the movie Space Jam is. Even you can be like, okay, in hindsight, the fact that Space Jam exists is completely batshit insane. But you can't fully appreciate the context of like when Space Jam first came into existence because it's always been around, you know? Space Jam 2 hasn't always been around. Imagine just finding out Space Jam 2 has just come out. You're like, oh, they made a Space Jam 2. You go into the theater and you see all of the crazy shit that's in Space Jam 2 without any context of like with the movie being developed. I would love that so much. That would be so incredible. But I can't have that because Twitter they just share every single insane, like all of the moments that would be the most insane are just presented like ripped straight to Twitter. Like I guess just so that people don't have to see it, but I want to see that. I want to be like, I want to have that experience of going to the theater and just being like, how the fuck does this exist?
See, the thing is, I haven't seen any. I rarely see clips from movies on my Twitter, and I don't know why, but I just follow film Twitter adjacent people. Everything I know about Space Jam 2, I heard this morning on a podcast that was reviewing it.
Oh, why would you listen?
Oh, wow, this was because it's my favorite thing.
You don't want to watch it.
Before I heard the podcast, no. After hearing the podcast, yes. Out of morbid curiosity.
Exactly. There's just
those guys
so much...
really didn't like it. But the thing is, they were constantly saying you will feel curious to watch this because of all the scenes. But I can assure you, they're not worth it.
Oh, I feel like
okay, go see the movie. Then.
I'm not gonna say I disagree because I haven't seen it, but I will say I doubt that that's the case. There's just because sure the plot is not gonna be that interesting, but just the fact, just if you appreciate the fact that like why the fuck
you get the same
it's not something like the
thing.
Emoji Movie where just like the fact that it exists is awful and crazy but it doesn't really go past that. It's like there's so many layers of like insanity to like why and there is some of that you're able to appreciate more if you see the development of this movie and see the state, like if you can appreciate like this has been a movie that has almost existed as a joke online for years and years and years, and now it's finally like a real thing. There is that aspect of it, but I feel like just going into it blind is it would be a better experience.
Well, it's not like I spoiled it for myself because I wanted to know everything. It's like I didn't care.
Yeah, you weren't going to see it
and
anymore.
two people I enjoyed.
What is the podcast, by the way?
Hearing. It's The Weekly Planet,
Mm.
and I recommend everyone listen to it.
Planet, big Planet,
Patreon,
because
so I got
Space Jam.
Yeah, because
Even though this movie doesn't have anything to do with space.
Yeah.
Space Jam, a new concept. Space.
You know what the villain is called in this movie?
Wait, should we? Yeah, fuck it. This is the premise, so whatever. Algae Rhythm.
That's the worst name I've ever heard.
Well, what's funny about that is just like how the movie feels like it was made by like a broken algorithm.
Yeah, really.
And he's played by Don Cheadle, which is just even more amazing.
Don Cheadle word of the day.
Don Cheadle word of the day. Contract. Don Cheadle word of the day. Synergy.
So anyway,
they should have done that account should have done that. The Don Cheadle word of the day account should have done that in the days leading up to Space Jam 2, just like completely corporate jargon words.
Anyway,
I did want to briefly talk about Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue when I was talking about that like weird, because I mentioned it, but like, did you see that video I linked you of the voice actor, the current voice actor, sometimes Bugs Bunny, but also Daffy Duck and stuff, Eric Bauza, on the podcast but outside.
No, I'm.
You didn't want? Okay, watch that clip right now. I will edit this out.
This was a good. I might listen to this podcast.
Yeah, it's an interesting podcast. Yeah. It's sort of like, not really like Billy on the Street, but it's similar to that, where it's just like talking to.
No, yeah, it seems funny. Yeah,
it's funny. I had an idea. This would be something that I feel like I would have to. This is an idea I had. That's like, it's not really a feasible. It's one of those type of ideas that's not feasible unless you have some sort of presence or resources or something. But I was thinking in the scenario that I do have that, I would like to do a podcast just a podcast where you take a random person off the street and like have them tell you their life story. That's not. This is like a looser version. The podcast, but outside, it seems to be, from what I've seen from clips, like a looser version of that, where it's like they just like kind of shoot the shit with a random person off the street a lot of the time, and sometimes it involves that. Sometimes it's just like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Like a podcast, but like with a random stranger.
I never got to tell you what my continuity fuck project was. So I got the idea because I was watching Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, and it was the fight between Sheev Palpatine and Yoda, and I thought to myself, what if they just killed off Yoda in this scene?
I thought you said Chief Palpatine.
Emperor Palpatine,
Sheev, yeah.
But like, I thought to myself, what if they killed Yoda just right here and never explained it? And I thought to myself, that would be so great. So I saved that, and I keep on thinking of things that would just annoy people.
Would that?
And I'm keeping them all into this idea.
I understand what you're saying. Because I do feel like that considering how weird Space Jam, considering how weird Star Wars is, that wouldn't necessarily break the continuity. It just kind of is like, oh, that means that Yoda was dead in the first movie he appeared. Actually, he was already dead the whole time. Whoa, that's a crazy revelation or reveal or whatever.
I guess.
Even though it actually is just like, no, we just don't care, and he's dead now.
No, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you see, it came out because, have you seen Black Widow?
No. I haven't.
No, okay. I won't say anything.
Okay.
But I haven't seen it either. But I don't know.
But
I think
I
it's
listened to a
just basically
podcast
that
that explained the whole.
She does. Well, I mean, basically, those same two guys.
Yeah.
They watched it last.
Of course.
Week. So anyway, they like.
Do you not watch movies?
No,
Do you just?
I just listen to podcasts. It's funny. Anyway, so it's safe to say Black Widow doesn't die in that movie because it's a prequel.
Oh my god! Spoilers.
Oh my god! But
Have you
like,
seen? This is off topic, but
But
have
I
you
was
seen
like-
Avengers Endgame, or did you just listen to a podcast about it,
I-
or did
I
you
watched-
listen to the
I watched
podcast and then watch it?
I watched Avengers Endgame blind. I saw it in theaters.
And you thought, I don't know what is going on.
I thought I know what was going on. I'd seen all the Marvel movies beforehand. It was just.
Have you seen the series,
straw that broke the camel's back.
Disney Plus series? Oh wait, I think we talked about this, didn't we?
Game came out. Yeah, I'd also seen. I'd seen Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
Oh, you've seen. That means
So I'd
you
seen
actually have seen more Marvel stuff than me, unless you haven't seen Agents of Shield.
Have you not seen Have you not seen Jessica Jones?
I watched the
Good.
first few
Holds up.
episodes of Daredevil, and then fell behind.
Jessica Jones is very.
And it also was not very interesting in those first few episodes. I imagine it gets better, maybe with Vincent D'Onofrio and stuff. And Jessica
think that
Jones,
it
I was
does.
interested in. And Defenders, sure, even though that's supposed to be bad. It's just
Yeah.
like it just got to be a lot, and then and now they're not even necessarily canon, so whatever.
No, they were never canon. Kevin Feige never cared.
Kevin Feige.
No. But no, that first season of Jessica Jones is golden. I think
It looks good. It's just there's just a lot.
Too. Yeah.
But
yeah. I also was like, what if every character had the same? Like this isn't even continuity, but like, what if every character had the same middle name, and it's just
In
like
what?
casually referenced in my fucked continuity thing.
of what
It's not
though?
even a continuity thing. It's just a weird.
In what though? Like
Just in-
what? Every
this
what
fiction.
character had the same middle name?
Every character in my continuity fuck.
Of what? Your fucked continuity of what though?
It's just it's a fiction.
No, I
Of my
know,
own.
but like, what is the changing the continuity of what? Like what franchise or
It's-
movie or whatever?
It's not based on a franchise. It's like its own thing. It's not like fucking the continuity.
So it's
of
an
a popular
original
franchise.
story.
It's just
Where the continuity is
And the whole-
fucked.
it's just, the whole premise is that the continuity is fucked. You know, but the thing I've got to.
I think
acknowledge
that's
with
already
this is
just
you've
Star
gotta-
Wars.
The thing is, you got to care about the thing, so I got to really build it up. You know, but also like, because if it's just this character you've never heard of is dead, who cares? But I've got to really, so I've got to have to develop it a little.
You
bit
have
further.
to like make an actual story and then with continuity and then start not having any continuity.
Well, no, I feel like it. It just needs to have characters in a storyline that's likable. Like the continuity thing can be a part of it, but it needs to also be genuinely a good story.
Remind me to tell you
Which
about
is
a
difficult.
about a story concept I came up with in between episodes. I don't want to talk about it on air because I just thought of it recently, and
We're gonna steal
this
it.
is already a
Someone's
long
gonna steal
episode. Yeah, and that no one
know,
is
but
listening. No
I-
one's
I-
gonna steal it. But
I thought this was post roll. I thought this was post roll.
we haven't finished that. We were on panel 3. Oh yeah. Oh, but
Can I
I'm
just
sorry. We
describe panel
didn't really
3?
talk about that clip of the podcast about outside clip, which is the reason I. So that's Eric Bowser, the voice of Bugs Bunny, like talking about. I don't know why I brought this up, but it's like it's reminiscent of Cartoon All Stars, right? Because he's like, "You ever heard of LSD, Doc?" or whatever. Like, it's like a reboot of Cartoon All Stars, except now it's about LSD. It's about actually hard drugs.
Was that one just about weed? The original?
I haven't seen it. I think it is.
Oh,
I assume it
I
is.
thought it was just generic.
I feel like I was looking at the poster earlier and I don't remember why. It's funny because it looks like, I guess that's just the VHS or whatever cover, but it looks like an actual movie poster. Like, come see Alf and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles together on the big screen. Oh, wow. Anyway, panel 4.
Anyway, panel 4, we have Bugs. He's like, he's on the conveyor belt.
It's the same panel.
Yeah,
You would think this episode would have been quicker because it's all 4 panels are almost exactly the same. But then I spent like 3 whole minutes talking about the mathematical equation for like how much time would have hypothetically passed between each panel via the conveyor belt. And that just took me 30 seconds to say, like, in even that.
And so anyway, Bugs says, and I've got a real sexy poster of Betty Boop on my wall. Which I assume he does.
In his apartment, yeah. Wait, we kind of glossed over the fact that his roommate is Peter Griffin.
Oh, well, yeah.
Which is the 4th... No, the 3rd... We don't see Peter Griffin, but this is like the 3rd. I'm gonna put it in quotes. Iconic cartoon character. I put it in quotes because you're comparing him to like Bugs Bunny and Betty Boop.
I think that I'm not gonna get into it, but I think that Peter Griffin is on that same level. I think he is.
I don't necessarily. This doesn't need to be an argument. I don't think we see that differently on this.
I mean, I don't think.
I think.
Yeah,
but the thing is, Bugs and Betty are like classic cartoon characters, like from the golden age of cartoons. Peter Griffin is a modern adult animation cartoon.
20 years old. No.
Like in an age where you would call it adult animation. Like Betty Boop was also intended for adults, but that wasn't like a thing back then. Mm-hmm. It's like a completely different landscape and we're with different genres and stuff.
I think as many people would recognize Peter Griffin as Betty Boop or Bugs Bunny.
But we don't know the lasting power in comparison yet. Like,
it's been 20 years, though.
But it's still airing. It's a TV show that will end eventually, whereas Bugs Bunny and Betty Boop are like their longevity is more vague.
I'd say more people know about Peter Griffin than Betty Boop.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you but what about this? Do you think more people around the world, if you showed them a lineup of cartoon characters, more would say, I recognize this person more than this person in regards to Peter Griffin versus Betty Boop?
Absolutely. Yes. Betty Boop is like sort of a Western phenomenon, but like Peter Griffin's worldwide.
Okay.
And he's still...
Forget around the world then. Just in the places they originated.
Yes. My answer is still yes. So in the US, yeah, I think that more people would recognize Peter Griffin. Because Peter Griffin's current.
I don't totally disagree. I can see that being plausible. So I'm not going to totally disagree. My first thought would be no. But I don't know. I think what's really like what's stopping me on that is just the fact that Betty Boop has been around for so much longer that like over time, like imagine that quiz happens every once in a while through time. There would be more time where Peter Griffin doesn't even exist or is known to that level. Where people would be able to say, yes, I knew him more than Betty Boop, or I recognize him more than Betty Boop. Which is what I think what the logic in my mind is making me be like, I feel like Betty Boop would be more recognized.
I guess. I mean,
even if like now, kind of like probably not.
She's kind of like a C-lister anyway.
Huh?
He's kind of like a C-lister of the iconic.
I would say B-lister. I wouldn't say C-lister.
Maybe. I don't know.
B for Betty Boop.
What would you say? What would you say was the B-listers then? No, what would you say would be the C-listers?
Captain Caveman? Or would you say Captain Caveman's D-list?
That Captain Caveman isn't even like that same. He's not even Golden Age of animation.
Well, we're just talking about iconic
just talking
cartoon
about Golden
characters.
Age.
Okay, Golden Age? Well, I would say then C-list is harder to identify because they're more forgotten then, maybe.
I suppose, like, I feel like I'd call Oswald the Lucky Rabbit like a C-lister, but he feels lower than that. I feel like maybe
yeah, he'd be D-lister. Okay.
Pluto.
C-lister Woody the Woodpecker.
I'd say he's a B-lister.
You wait. So are you saying you would say he's a B-lister and Betty Boop is a C-lister? You think he's higher, or do you think if Betty Boop is a B-lister, then he's a B-lister?
I don't know. It's difficult to say.
This is not.
I don't know what
we should finish.
I don't know what everyone's thinking.
The Amazon box, by the way, is like right all the way to the end of the conveyor belt that we see more of, and it's about to go into the next conveyor belt that goes off panel.
What did you think of this one, Ryan? What did you think about this one?
Oh, I love this one. It's just a bug strip. This is like the first time we've seen one of the side characters get a strip all to himself. I love it. And we get like this new it's sort of like an epilogue to an arc that is already kind of past. Just to be like, by the way, where are they now? This is where they are now. And I love the panel, the third panel is just nothing. He's saying nothing is like it has a Garfield vibe to it, like the pause for punchline vibe. Except it's not really a punchline; it's just an extra thought. I mean, it's not like on the same level of the thoughts he was expressing before. It's just like, it is like an extra thought, but I don't know. It's also just super random that this is what he's doing now, and that he shares an apartment with Peter Griffin. All these details, it's really random, and I love it. I love that that's the details. I love it.
I think this is a great one. So anyway,
also corporate criticism in there.
Corporate criticism, like if anyone's familiar with Alex's Twitter, he is very much he's very lefty, I think, and I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, anyway, you've been listening to Being Mr. Boop. When the boop hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's divorcee.
Oh my god, wait, seriously again? That was the one from yesterday.
You can visit this year's website at www.beingmrboop.com for a full catalogue of episodes and to sign up to host the podcast. For more updates, follow at Mr. Boop Pod on Twitter.
Can I go to the bathroom now?
Sure.
Okay.
This podcast was brought to you by the Pitch Drop Podcast Network. Like what you just heard? Support the show by going to patreon.com/pitchdrop. And while you're at it, check out pitchdrop.net for more of this and other shows.